times and talked to Paula, and I don't know what quite.
The property owner?
The next door
The next
neighbor.
door
The next door
neighbor.
neighbor.
202.
Right.
Yes,
Well,
it's
I
fine.
think we would be able to take escrow funds and make some sort of temporary repairs in order to prevent damage to, in the house where it was damaged, to prevent, damage to the other property. But Mr. Rodriguez said, I mean, so I think you could do that, with the escrow funds.
Right.
I don't know whether that would be sufficient or whether there is a way. I don't know what exactly the problem is. So
Right.
The
water
roof
getting-
collapsed for one, and the
Yeah,
water going in,
into
the
his-
firewalls were
Well,
damaged.
Yeah, the firewalls are soft brick.
Well, we would have to try to, determine if there's any structural repairs necessary so they can do a temporary repair to the roof, I suppose, because the roof is collapsed. But then, I mean, do you know how we get access to this funding?
Yeah,
in
it
advance,
should
or
be.
do you spend the money and then hope that the funding is actually there? How do
No,
you-
the money is there. The money came in, the check came in, it was for $16,000. What the state does is send you 20% of the insurance. And what happened was, when the neighbor at 202 fixed the house the first time, we had,
well, I mean, I'm.
the
gonna-
money is
Okay,
there.
well, my suggestion is, I would like the solicitor to maybe look into maybe to make sure that we follow the proper procedure, because when I read this Fire Act, I believe, I thought the intent was you're supposed to be able to come up with a scope of services that the borough thinks that they need, and then give notice to the homeowner, and then, I mean, it's not just it didn't seem like a straightforward, you can just do what you have to and send a bill.
Oh, yeah, I mean, we would have to take a look and make sure that.
So we have to
all
go
this-
through
yeah,
some
this-
legal matter before
Yeah.
you can even just,
I'm-
go into the.
And we
Yeah,
did, and
right.
we've already took 2,000 of it, and we did have legal then, because you can use the money to secure it where it's not doing anything else to anyone else.
I agree that I understand you can use it, but it's not, I don't believe from what I read, it's a simple matter of you can just go in and do whatever you want to secure something, and then go back and say, give me the money.
If it's
There's a
health and
procedure.
welfare, and that's what it was, health and welfare of the person next door, because we've done this already, Alex, before you got here, and we followed the law. You can use
No one's
that
saying we
money.
can follow law, yes, just to cut it
Let's
short.
get a
they-
legal
Yeah,
way,
yeah,
that's
we
all.
got-
We would do it,
Let's get a
according
legal way.
to Hoyle, and make sure that we follow. But if we have funds in escrow, then, prior to any decision, because what you're saying that we asked for was a special pool of CDBG funds, to do the demolition. But we would be able to, again, presuming all proper notices were in place, utilize the escrow funds in order to make some repair to the property, to stabilize it or prevent damage from somewhere else. We can do that.
Yes.
We'll work on that.
And Alex, I'm just asking, can you make this a priority, because it's not fair to the homeowners? This fire took place in what, 2012?
Yeah,
And they still dealing with it?
yeah.
I make that motion to make it a priority.
Okay. Second it.
Madam
Can I-
President, can I add to that?
Yes.
Okay. It's already a priority,
All right.
but just a cautionary measure. The homeowner did notify me that a group of contractors went to the home and they were going to try to see if they could purchase it
That's good.
and
That's good.
rehabilitate it. But we have heard nothing, we have not seen any contractors there, no one has come to the borough. But he did say that they were, interested in doing that. So Alex has it as a priority, but we also had 127 Chestnut Street as a priority, and contractors
Yeah,
came
that's
in.
good. That's what
So
you
we were able to remove that off of the list,
John,
so.
I have a question.
I would have to check again to see if anyone else has,
I have a question.
been able to.
If you can, could you call the
Madam-
owner up and see what
Madam-
the deal
Madam-
is?
Because it wouldn't be fair if we spent money to repair it
Madam
and a group of
Madam-
contractors
Madam
bought it
President, can I
and we weren't even
can I-
aware of
Can I
it.
ask the solicitor? John, the escrow money is not the boroughs to do what they want with it. The escrow money has to either be to secure that property or it turned back over to the homeowner who actually has the insurance. Now, that is the understanding, and that's how it's been operated. So we can't say that we can use that money on somebody else's property. We can only use that insurance money on that property, or we have to turn it back over to the homeowner. That's not our money.
Correct.
That was a pass-through, am I correct?
Correct.
Thank you.
We never said we were going to do that.
All right, just, matter of fact, see, I know when you first posed the question, Mr. Rodriguez had asked for approval of the resolution to approve the amended final lot consolidation land development plan. Okay, I'm sorry.
I have a question for Alex.
Did anyone make that motion?
In
Okay, why don't we make the motion first,
Go
and
ahead.
then second it,
Go
and
ahead.
then you have
Can I have a motion to approve resolution 2014-23, amendment final lot consolidation land development plan of the William Penn School District
make
bus
that
parking
motion.
depot? Can I finish, Paul?
Go ahead.
Thank you, please.
All right.
Second,
I'll second it.
all in favor?
No,
Any
discussion.
discussion, I'm
All right, go
sorry.
ahead.
I have a question for you, because in this, and this is my concern for parking, because in this, it's saying that they're gonna be taking parking spaces from the employees, which means they're gonna have to park on the street, because I can tell you right now, there are no two shifts. Everybody comes in at 6:30 and everybody's out at 8:30. There are anyone who's driving to Philadelphia come in late, but you have about 100 people coming in at the same time. That was my biggest, I didn't understand why they said that there were shifts at the school bus, because there is no shift. So that's gonna cause parking problems, because if we're taking parking away from the employees, because that's what they're gonna do, they're gonna take some of the designated parking spots that they have for the employees to move and put that on. Where are they gonna put those other people? Because this is wrong, they do not have two shifts, it's one shift.
Well,
Everybody comes in at 6:30.
Let me rephrase that question for the solicitor, if you don't mind. The plan that they submitted, which is what they proposed to get recorded, they placed a note on the plan.
Excuse me, Alice, can you
Oh,
talk
go ahead,
to?
go ahead, Alan.
The plan that was submitted has a note on the front sheet of the record plan. Their note states that they will provide two shifts because of the fact that there is about 49 or 50 parking spaces for cars right now. The rest are all buses. They only, in the note, I think they claimed there was only gonna be about 40% of the employees actually drive to work. The rest either walk or take public transportation, they stated. I can only go by what they wrote on the note. So they concurred that there was a potential parking issue, and their solution is they stated on the plans that they were gonna provide two shifts, so that when the first shift comes in, the people will take the bus parking spaces where the buses are removed, because you'll have maybe 30 or 40 buses going out possibly, or whatever the amount of buses are. I guess it's 100 buses, so 50 buses theoretically will be gone off the lot on the first shift. 30 minutes later, they said the second shift would come in, and between the provided parking spaces and all the other 50 spaces from the buses that are removed, they're gonna have the amount of parking that they need.
But it's gonna.
I'm just saying,
Right, but
they
that's
say,
what-
this is
but-
what this is
but
what they're
that's what
claiming.
that's
So
what-
the question is, for the solicitors, how would the borough enforce that condition that they said that they agreed to follow on the
Well,
plan?
I don't know that we could. I mean, I think you
But
would
it's
have.
gonna cause a parking problem.
I get it.
Okay.
You would need to make the evaluation based on whether or not, the number of spaces shown on the plan meet with what is called for under our zoning ordinance. So if it's one space for every employee, I don't know
Well,
what.
because it's an amended plan, the previously approved plan already went through all the zoning and land development. I mean, all they did was move the building down. In other words, had it been like a new submission from scratch, yeah, I would go straight to the zoning and check to see if it met that. but it's already been approved plan, now they're just simply trying to make a minor modification with the minor building.
But that's not minor, because it's gonna impact the residents of
The
Colwyn.
parking was never there to start with, is what I'm saying.
But what you're
When
trying to
when-
do,
when-
Alice, is push this through, and I'm
No, I'm
trying to
not,
say.
I am not pushing it,
Okay,
all I'm
but
saying is that the
all I'm
council,
saying, Alex, there's not gonna be 2 shifts.
okay, I understand,
Then
and
we
I.
need to find that. Then if
But let
there's
me-
not parking, all I'm bringing up.
Let me explain something though. This plan was already approved without
I know,
parking,
I know.
so
No,
that-
it wasn't improved without parking. It was parking.
not with
for-
adequate parking. The
with-
plans
with-
never had adequate parking when it
So,
was
so the
originally
question,
approved.
the question is that
It
here,
never
we're
was.
talking about a building, the modular building is being moved from one spot to another spot.
Right.
And I presume what you're saying is, if you look at it, I haven't seen the plan, but it displaces parking.
They're losing maybe 6 spaces, I think, from what the original approved plan was.
So-
And
so-
the original plan never had sufficient parking either.
Okay, so your council's evaluation should be that if they're moving it and you're losing 6 parking spots because of that, do you still want to approve the plan with the loss of those 6 parking spots?
But what they're doing and y'all leaving out is they're saying we can take those 6 parking lots because the other shift can come in and park where the buses.
And I
What
wouldn't-
I'm saying is there are no 2 shifts.
Right.
So how does it affect the residents? Well, you know, on Water Street, there's no parking at any time.
Well, if you look at that geographical area.
Madam President?
Yeah, one-
That's-
one-
Madam
yeah.
President?
That's up to you. I mean, what they're proposing
Look,
something where they're
believe me,
moving a
I'll hear
building.
the complaints, I'll hear the complaints
Madam-
if people can't get parking, they'll be
Yeah.
knocking on my door in that neighborhood. 'Cause I live right there,
You
young
live right
man.
there, Fred.
I live right
I'm
there.
bringing up a valid point.
It's a very valid
It is
point.
valid, Jeanette.
It's very valid. And I'm the guy everybody's gonna be blaming when they can't get a parking spot, including my wife.
And that's what I'm talking about.
Right,
They're
there
gonna come
is
into
no,
the
there is no
neighborhood.
way
Start a
to
valet
enforce
service down there.
them making you have 2 shifts.
Right.
You said,
But what I'm saying is there is no 2 shifts, so that's an error right there. It's no 2 shifts, it's not gonna be 2 shifts
Can I ask a question?
unless they change the way they send everybody to school. This is written in stone. So it's never been 2 shifts and it's not gonna be, so what they're saying, if they put that in the plan saying, okay, well, we can take that away and everything's gonna be okay because we only got 1 shift coming in, so when the second shift come in, they can park where the buses are, and the buses they all go out together and they all come in together.
Madam President?
Well, you know what happens, people get confused in life. They think the school buses is like the crossing guards, where there's 2 shifts, morning shift and afternoon shift. That's what people think, I think, sometimes.
That's what it is.
Yeah,
It's
they
a
think,
morning
yeah.
shift and an afternoon
like the
shift.
crossing
But
guards,
everybody
7 to
comes in
9,
the morning
2
and
to
everybody
4.
comes in the
Yeah,
afternoon.
well, they think it's 2 shifts.
I'm just bringing up the fact
It's a
that
valid point.
they gotta figure out where the parking's gonna
Yeah.
be, or, I mean, because of the way they put it in there, because then you're gonna have people parking in the neighborhoods and people's driveways, so that does create a problem. That's all I'm saying.
You're right.
Madam
Right.
President?
Good.
Can I- Alex, how many parking spaces are on the lot?
Well, I think there was about 100 total, or maybe 150, let me get the plan. here.
For employee parking?
40, I think, right?
I thought it was 40, right?
It was
Just-
50.
Just so you know, just to ease your minds, where they're located at now in Darby, there is no parking on the lot for employees.
There is.
So, can I ever have the floor without being interrupted?
There is parking on the lot right now.
For what, 4
parking.
cars?
It's more than
4
4
cars?
cars that are parked there.
Anyway, there is no
They show
parking
45.
on the employee lot where they're located at now.
There is parking.
So, please,
We park.
I asked for the
on lot.
floor. Can I finish a sentence, please?
Maybe I'll be able to rent parking spots
There you
out.
go.
Only about 20 cars of the employees have parked on the streets of Darby because there is no parking around. So I personally think, even though they say it's not adequate parking, 40, I've lived with this for years, okay? Just because Tonet works there, I've also been involved because I live there.
Excuse me, we
And
have
40
parking right
parking
now.
spaces, just as Alex says, are sufficient because tons of people that work there do not drive. They
Yes,
take
they
public
do. They do.
transportation and they walk.
No.
So I don't see a problem.
The way they
settlements here, I don't care if they don't have parking in Darby, we're worried about Colwyn.
Right, well, you have parking in Colwyn, there is no parking in Darby.
No,
They
they
better not
do.
park on my block.
Well, there's no parking on Water Street, so they're not gonna be able to park there.
That's what I'm saying, that was.
So they'll be able to park
Where they
in the
gonna park?
Front
lot.
Street,
How?
Main Street.
I'm sure you're not gonna have a problem.
How?
Main Street, Fred?
How?
Crying out loud, can we just get this passed?
How do we get this selling?
Can
You
we
know, what-
break,
what-
can we?
There's no issue
School board
here.
back?
Please listen to Alex, there's no issue.
Look, stop pushing stuff. Can you
Pushing
please
stuff?
Stop pushing.
You really shouldn't talk about it. Conflict of interest.
Can we have the school board come back out like they did before?
This is ridiculous.
I mean,
The only reason I.
Somebody make the motion and second it? Is it?
Excuse me,
Is motion
excuse me,
second?
excuse me, Paula.
Yeah.
I know you had a question, I'm sorry.
No, that's not it, Paula, but you're not the one that's gonna be calling for motions, please stop.
No, but you have to get it
No,
right on
please
the
stop.
record.
but I'm
No,
just,
Martha.
Are you okay with this?
I'm telling you that the numbers that they're quoting
Okay, so
are
that's-
not
It's
correct.
confusing for her. Look at it. It's ridiculous. This is not a discussion.
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't.
Come on.
It's not how discussions
Stop trying to
go.
run the meeting.
No,
Because what's
start
gonna
running
happen is
it
if
the
we
way it's
approve
supposed to be
it,
run.
If we
Well, I'm sorry,
approve
it's
it
not
and we
Paula
don't
World.
find out
No,
about the
it's not. It's
parking,
Colwyn.
then we're
It's a
gonna have
Twilight
another
Zone.
problem.
We need to get,
What?
we need to get that, the horses out of the barn, so that if we don't have parking, the horse already left the barn.
The one thing I'm saying is listen to what they said. When they came back for this amendment, they came back for the amendment because they're saying, hey, we're not gonna have a problem. It's not gonna impact Colwyn because we have 2 shifts. So we only have a certain amount of people come in at a certain time, then there's another shift coming
This
at another
motion
time.
isn't about parking.
That is what.
It's not about parking.
But you wanna know.
It's trying to confuse you.
I am not trying to confuse you.
You are.
Excuse me, can I finish talking to another council person?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay, so what that does is, look, if y'all don't mind being impacted by the parking, then you know what? I throw my hands up. I'm trying to bring something to y'all attention before it becomes a problem, but I don't know what I'm talking
But
about.
why did you approve
Because
it?
the bottom line is.
She
there is-
approved this last year,
Can I finish telling
but
you?
now
Can I
she's
talk?
against it.
Paul,
Realize that.
Pat, I'm talking to
This was
another
already
council person.
approved.
Can you?
All right, Paul, please.
There is parking on the lot. There's about 25 to 30 cars parked on the lot. Now, what they were doing, there was a problem in Darby. They would park out at the library, but when they did the street sweeping, they didn't park. When they made the shopping center over there, we take up a whole section of it over there. So all I'm saying is, we need to go back to the school district because the parking is going to affect the residents.
Why did you approve it in the first place?
You know what, I'm
Get this thing
All right,
moving.
can I make a suggestion? I mean, what you're able to do, if you want to, you have a motion on the table, it's up to council whether, what we're talking about is,